The weakness in rupees all one can talk about, and it has broken previous records last week. So my colleague Yusuf and I thought, let's look at some data to focus on which companies have a higher forex exposure. So 71 companies from BSE 500, and this excludes banks and financials. They have a foreign currency exposure of 3.5 lakh crore rupees and aggregate borrowings of 15.2 lakh crore rupees, out of which 23% is foreign currency loan. This is as per data from Ace Equity. And sectors which have the highest foreign loan exposure are chemicals, refineries and healthcare segment. Breaking it down to individual companies now, the one with the highest percentage exposure to foreign debt. Alkyl Amines, small loan amount, but all of it is in foreign currency. Glenmark Pharma with almost 90% debt in forex, Shipping Corporation at 100%, Oil India at 85%, Adani Ports as well at 66%. Moving on, UPL at 61.5%, there's Polyplex at 58%, SGVN at 55%, and ONGC at 53%, just to name a few. So it will lead to high interest outgo in case of dollar-denominated loans and will lead to higher expenditure. Important to note, the breakup of the forex loan in a specific currency is not available. But with some examples, also wanted to point out that a lot of these companies have substantial export revenues as well, thereby negating the impact of higher interest outflow, because dollar strengthening will aid earnings as well for them, right? Now, the revenues in export markets could be a lot more and not necessarily denominated in dollars, so that is something that we need to remember. Alkyl Amines has 23 crore of debt in foreign currency, but 270 crore worth of exports. UPL has 16,000 crore debt in foreign currency, but 36,000 crore in terms of revenues from exports, out of which 7% is from Europe, 37% exposure is to North America. Glenmark Pharma has 3,300 crore of debt that is in foreign currency and 6,700 crore of revenues from exports. Sudarshan Chemicals, that exports to 80 plus countries, has almost 1,000 crore revenues from exports and 480 crore of debt in terms of forex. Additionally, as per Bloomberg, nearly $11 billion worth of foreign currency notes are getting matured within the next 1 year, while bonds worth $500 million each are maturing in October for NTPC and BPCL. Next year would see bonds of similar values getting matured for Vedanta Resources, IOCL and ONGC Videsh, to name a few here. Now we are talking about loans, right? So let me also focus on revenues. The exposure will be higher for some names in the specialty chemical space because of higher exports to other countries. Many of these companies will see higher exposure because India's exports of chemicals hit a record high at $29 billion in FY22. That compares to $14 billion in FY14. We have names like Vinity Organics with 69%, Clean Science at 70%, Galaxy Surfactants with 62% revenues coming in from exports. For fine organic, Naveen Fluorine, Atul Limited, NoSil, Aarti Industries, Deepak Nitrite and Alkyl Amines, all of them have exposure anywhere between 70 to 70% in the list that I have mentioned. And out of this, for some companies, we know the exposure to Europe as well. And that is where we are seeing crisis due to energy prices, and this is something that could pressure on demand as well for these companies. So the numbers on the screen are a percentage of the total exports and not the total revenues that is the companies do to Europe. Anupam Rasayan has 46% of total exports to Europe, which is followed by Vinity Organics. Naveen Fluorine as well has almost 60% exports. PI Industries at 10%, Neogen at 27% of total exports to Europe. So many companies have sizable exposure to Europe as well, making them vulnerable to demand and added woes of currency depreciation there. Important to note that every company has its own hedging mechanism in place, so the net effect on earnings depends on that. But these are just some numbers that we wanted to focus on.